I asked ChatGPT and MaxGuide the same question. What fields do I need to fill out on a work order for a pipeline inspection in Maximo? Both tools gave me an answer. One looks a lot more impressive than the other. But looking impressive and being right aren't the same thing. Here's ChatGPT's answer. Right away, it looks thorough. Organized headers, bullet points, everything categorized into sections. If you don't know Maximo well, this feels like a comprehensive checklist you could follow. And here's the thing. A lot of this is actually correct. Work order number, description, asset or location, work type set to, inspection. That's a real value in Maximo's work type domain. Status starting at WAPPR, correct. Reported date, target start and finish, supervisor crew, priority, all real fields on a work order. It even gets some of the oil and gas features right. Safety plan, real. Hazard fields, real. Permits, real. Failure code and problem code, absolutely. So far it sounds like ChatGPT knows what it's talking about. That's what makes the next part dangerous. Meter readings or condition monitoring data. Pressure, flow rate, corrosion level. Here's where ChatGPT starts blending things together. Meter readings are real. There's a measurement value field on the work order. But condition monitoring data is not something you fill out on a work order form. And corrosion level is not a field on any Maximo object. ChatGPT is describing things a pipeline inspection involves and presenting them as fields you'd fill in. Those are different things. Hazard, safety plan, or JSA. Safety plan, real. Hazard, real. But JSA, job safety analysis, is a general industry term, not a Maximo application or field name. ChatGPT is mixing real Maximo terminology with generic safety language and hoping you won't notice. Regulatory fields. If your pipeline is governed by compliance rules. Notice there are no specific field names here. That's because they don't exist. There's no DOT field, no PHMSA field on a Maximo work order. ChatGPT doesn't name them because it can't. They aren't real. But it presents regulatory fields as a category anyway, which implies they're there waiting to be filled in. Now look at the bottom of the response. You might also see industry-specific fields like pipeline segment ID, coding condition, leak detection results, or GPS coordinates. Pipeline segment ID, not a field. Coding condition, not a field. Leak detection results, not a field. GPS coordinates actually do exist in Maximo, but they're on the asset and location records, not the work order. You don't type GPS coordinates into a work order. I checked all of this against the actual Maximo MBO catalog. 50,000 attributes across 2,600 objects. The fields ChatGPT invented aren't there. Well, now look at MaxGuide's answer. It's shorter, a lot shorter. And I think most people's first reaction would be that it's less helpful, because we've been trained to think longer equals better. But read what it actually says. It starts by telling you the truth. The required fields depend on your organization's configuration. That's not a cop-out. That's the most important thing a new Maximo user needs to understand. Every Maximo implementation is different, especially in oil and gas. It names the real core fields: work order number, description, asset or location, work type, and status. Then it gets specific about oil and gas, risk assessment linking, permit, and certification requirements. Real features, named correctly, tied to the right industry solution. And then it does something ChatGPT never does. It tells you to check with your operations supervisor or planner. That's not MaxGuide punting. That's MaxGuide understanding that no AI tool can tell you what your plant requires without knowing your configuration. The responsible answer is to tell you who to ask. Here's what I want you to take away from this. ChatGPT's answer was maybe 70% right. The safety plan fields are real. The permits are real. The risk assessment is real. But mixed in with the real stuff are invented field names, features placed on the wrong objects, and generic industry terms dressed up as Maximo functionality. The problem is, you cannot tell which 70% is right without already knowing Maximo. And if you already knew Maximo that well, you wouldn't need to ask the question. That's why MaxGuide exists. Every answer is grounded in a curated knowledge base. Every claim can be verified against IBM's own documentation. And when the real answer is, it depends on your configuration, it tells you that instead of making up fields to fill the gap. One answer looks better. The other one is better. MaxGuide is in beta now at maxguide.io. Try it, ask it the hard questions, see how it compares.